Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful 2020. I thought we would start on a little bit of a different note this year. We're going to start out with an aquarium video, something I haven't done in a very long time, and I wanted to show you this tank before it goes downhill because me keeping plants alive in an aquarium would be a blessing, but it just seems I can't do it for some reason. So I wanted to make a video of this tank in its prime before it potentially goes downhill. This tank has some beginner plants in it though. I only started with 2 types of beginner plants and some easy neon tetras hopefully. So I'm hoping this tank stays really nice like this. It looks really good right now. But let's just talk about some of the things I have in here. So one of the things you might notice to start is these beautiful pink rocks. Now I actually got these from the place I go on vacation in the summertime. It's on a lake and there's also like a little creek there. Not that many people know about it, but it's surrounded by all these beautiful big rocks. And I had brought these home like 5 years ago, unsure of what I was going to do with them. But I cleaned them up recently and I thought that they looked really nice, so I decided to put them in here instead. Because the rocks at my local pet store cost about $3.50 a pound, and I figured there's about 10 pounds in here, so maybe like $35 in rocks. For me, that seems really expensive, and I would never pay that much for some rocks. Although I think that these pink ones do a pretty good job of creating a nice background in here. Another thing I need to put in this tank is some sort of cleaner fish or something. You can see that the neon tetras don't do that good of a job of picking the food up from the floor there. So if I don't get something in here soon, it's going to become a mess. But I'm thinking about cherry shrimp or maybe some mono shrimp, just something to clean it up a little bit. And you'll notice that some of the plants I have here in the back, these are the Ruffle Swords, the ones with the big green leaves. And you might notice that some of the tips on these are turning a little bit brown already. And from what I've read, I believe that is from nitrogen deficiency or them not being able to get enough water up to the tip of their leaves. And the other plants in here, like back here by the filter and in the corner and all these little tiny ones up front, these are called Liguigia repens, I believe. These are supposedly a beginner plant also. And actually I cut these off from a bigger plant. So the original plants are about 8 inches long, and I cut the tips off of them and planted them in the substrate here, or that gravel, and I was hoping that they were all going to take root. And so far they look like they're doing well. None of these plants had any roots on them when I first cut them off, so the fact that they haven't died in the last 2 weeks is pretty good. I'm hoping that the fertilizer I've been putting in here is helping a little bit too, and so far I think this tank looks great. The neon tetras have only been in here for about a day, so they're still kind of pale, but they'll hopefully color up. And another thing from the fertilizers is the fact that I'm getting a little bit of this, like what they call brown algae, which isn't actually algae at all. It's just sort of a little microorganism that grows on surfaces, usually when you have too many nutrients in the water. But the way to get rid of this is just by scraping it off or having a faster moving current. But I'm hoping that I'm not going to have a lot of algae problems now that I'm using liquid fertilizer in this tank. I'm hoping to continue to use the fertilizer just so that it hopefully helps my plants out, keeps them nice and green and growing, and all that good stuff. But anyway, yeah, I just thought this tank was pretty cool. I wanted to share it with you today. If you're wondering how much this cost me to set up, it was only about $200, which is pretty cheap, in my opinion anyway, and I think it looks great. This is in my bedroom. It's a lovely tank, and I just want to share it with you today. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I will be back to my regularly scheduled gecko video next week. But anyway, I hope to see you in the next video next week.